What did your friend do that accidentally turned you on? Was complaining about my posture to my friend. She was like, oh, I learned this trick to help my posture, let me show you. And she grabbed me by the shoulders and lightly pushed me against the wall. Then she stepped back and said, now walk forward while keeping your shoulders back or something, I don't remember. It only lasted a few seconds, but I swear I didn't breathe the whole time. I've heard from both my husband and a guy friend that girls pushing them against the wall was arousing, somehow, smiley face, it kinda is to me as well. When my husband holds me against the wall and presses his entire body against me, oof. Pushed against the wall with direct eye contact will give anyone the take me feeling in context, of course instructions unclear, somehow ended in fuzzy cuffs with no recollection of last night. My friend offered to give me some pointers at the driving range so I would feel more comfortable at a work function. I had never swung a golf club in my life. After about 30 minutes trying to verbally describe what I was doing wrong and how to fix it, he finally put his hands on my hips and moved them correctly. I could tell he was very intentionally trying not to make it sexual, but splosh anyway. I think a lot of guys don't understand how goddamn sexy it is when they act respectful like that. It just F_King puts thoughts into your head so easy, ha ha ha. It's the palpable restraint. He was trying not to touch you, which meant he was thinking very much about touching you in order to avoid doing so. Yes. Sploosh, our class wrote an exam. One of my female friends finished earlier than me and had to give her already finished exam to the teacher. I sat in front of her and when she walked by me, I smelled a lovely perfume and she whispered to me in a calm and kind voice, happy birthday. Boy, I couldn't concentrate on the exam anymore. At least she finished before you. After dinner we walked to the subway, we were laughing while going down the stairs. She said something to annoy me and jumped the last 2 steps. She turned around to laugh and I melted. It was like a movie, almost slow motion. She sent me a Snapchat sitting in her car on a cold day. She blew gently out of her mouth to show her breath turning into fog and then kind of lightly smirked after. I watched it on loop probably 100 times before it disappeared forever. Something about it was so cheeky or something, I don't know how to explain it, but it's burned into my brain. Watching it 100 times might be the reason why it's burned into your brain. He tucked my hair behind my ears while I was working on a project and couldn't do it myself due to the materials. It was such a simple gesture, but it was so gentle, and we made direct eye contact when I saw his arm reach out. It was just so intimate. Unfortunately, we don't talk anymore, but I still think about that every now and then. It still makes me blush. I hope he's having a good day wherever he is. While driving, a friend saw my new tattoo on my arm getting a little dry. Mid-conversation he just got the Aquaphor and applied a little bit to my arm. Felt like an absolute queen and still think about that intimacy. About 25 years ago now, in high school. After seeing my drawings she said I should draw her an underscore to sometime. In hindsight it probably wasn't an accident, but she had a boyfriend and I didn't want to be that guy. Edit, I don't mind that it never happened. I met my wife a couple years later and we've been together since. I don't know if things would have turned out differently if I'd hooked up with my high school friend, but I'm happy with how it all turned out in the end. 25 years ago. Has a boyfriend. Asks you to draw her an underscore to. This mf'er didn't watch Titanic, see No Evil Monkey, or he just didn't want to end up like the dude from Titanic. Placed his hands on my waist to move me. Still makes me blush. Ma'am, I'm trying to land this goddamn airplane. Stop twerking in front of me. Damn, was trying to land something else. Guess I gotta try harder next time, lol. We were being really sarcastic to each other and having a fake argument at work during a lunch break. Then she leans in, and in my face, with direct eye contact, in a low sultry voice said, yeah, my name, F_CKU. Then let out a wry sideways smile. That did something for me. New kink unlocked. I don't know how to replicate it, but I still think about it to this day. Weary face, opera B_ich wanna bang? Anyways, we're now married with 13 cats. Comparing heights. My friend and I often argued over who was taller. Our licenses listed the same height, but we insisted that we were actually slightly taller than the other. Often we would stand back to back and try to force our friends to declare the tallest, but consensus was never achieved. Once during a party at his place we ended up alone in the basement for a few minutes, jokingly arguing again about who was taller. We got in each other's faces playfully to compare heights since no one was there to judge, and just the playfulness and proximity gave me an electric zing that I wasn't expecting. We remained friends, attended college in different states, and it didn't come up until after I graduated and we got a chance to reconnect. After a casual brunch turned into 24-hour-long date, he mentioned feeling that first zing all those years ago too. He proposed in October, also we're still the same height. He's slightly taller but I'll never admit it to him. I guess we will just have to keep comparing our heights forever. First time he exhibited assertiveness. He used a stern voice to someone else and it gave me chills. Flushed face, droplet, is he normally calm, chill or just more passive? Like is assertiveness not generally a characteristic of his? He had always been pretty quiet around me to that point and there just hadn't been an occasion for him to pull out that tone. He is in an authoritative position and it was appropriate for the setting. It secretly excites me every time I hear it, but I will never forget the feeling I got that first time I heard it. I haven't been the same since TBH, fire, fire, fire. Spent a full semester as a freshman in a pretty tight friend group, few girls, few guys. Never had any tension or eye for any of them. At the end of semester, one of the girls invited a few of us to her room for a study session since she was lucky enough to not have a roommate. I arrived first, just when she was getting back from a team practice from some sport, I can't remember which. Before anyone else got there, without warning, she tears off her uniform down to sports bra and shorts so she can put on a clean tee and pants. Then she got straight into a book. I went a year without eyes for her, but that was close to the hottest anyone has ever looked to me. A few friends bailed on a Disneyland trip so it was just this girl and myself and for some reason we still went, drove together. We weren't close and one of my boys was into her at the time. Anyway, we were in line for Matterhorn and if you know, that seating is front to back, not side by side. We couldn't each get our own car so we had to sit together, her in front of me and between my legs. And if you know, Matterhorn is the bumpiest ride in Disneyland. Even my jeans couldn't hide it when she was bouncing up and down, in and out of my lap. The look she gave me over her shoulder with a smirk, I'll never forget it. Holy shit, this brought back a memory, haha. At a party someone was going around taking pics, they came up to her and I chatting. She turned around, bent over to press against my junk and posed like I was doing her from behind, then went back to chatting without skipping a beat. I don't think I heard anything she said after that for the next 5 minutes. The flashbang ringing made me crack up. Everyone knows the sound and it played instantly in my head. It always plays in my head. Use your protection, guys. I was in the army at the time, and I was teaching my friends back home combatives. I was showing a female friend how to get out of a headlock, and she jokingly lightly bite me. I let go of the lock for an entirely different reason. F_CK I was bitten playfully out of nowhere by a girl I know, a friend's GF, in a lift and I still remember it from time to time. Every time like WTF did Sheila, did you remember it in the middle of typing that last bit edit? Easier to thank the cake wishers in the edit than individually. Thanks. When my college was playing one of those campus-wide zombie apocalypse/tag games, chased me around as a zombie and tackled and pinned me. Anyway, now we're married. You know, she was like, how many more times do I have to tackle and sit on him before he makes a move as a man? I think it would take a minimum 15 times before I even began to consider an ulterior motive. Bro, I could be putting the scene on and I'd still be like, what if she's just smashing platonically? I was at a small party with mostly acquaintances. One girl was trying to get the party going and getting people to drink. I usually don't enjoy drinking very much, but at some point she came up to me from behind, held a cup of rum and coke to my lips, tilted my head back, and said drink. I was so turned on in that moment I would have chugged the entire cup. Me and a friend were going fishing and needed to get new licenses. I made a joke about a parent/child license being the cheapest option. My friend, who I cannot stress enough, has never made a sexual remark to me in her life, turns to me and says, "Hey, daddy," and winks.